Hello, it is Lake and Danielle. I know it has been a good little minute. It's been a minute, a big minute. A lot of things have changed. You can see that now I am bald headed, no hair. And you see I'm in scrubs, not a nurse, forgive the stain, but esthetician. So this video is to all who are thinking about getting in the esthetician program, who are actually in it now, or who has went through the program and, just want to hear other people's stories and everything like that. So this video is basically talking about my experience in the esthetician program and my experience with state board. And also I will be attaching, something is in my eye. I also will be attaching links to things that helped me study for the state board exam. Because when I get into that state board exam, that right there is just another thing within itself. But I will be attaching a lot of resources, study things I use, websites, certain books, certain podcasts I listen to, internships that I did, fellowships that I did, trainings that I did while still in school. So we're going to start off with where it all started. So last year, around March, April, I decided I really like skin. I want to get into the skin world. Well, I knew okay, I wanted to be a dermatologist, but I already have a degree, a 4-year degree, bachelor's degree in communications. And to be a dermatologist, you have to have a degree in English, math, science. And I was not going to go back to school for another 4 years to go back in dermatology to become a doctor in dermatology. I think that's 8-9 years. Nah. So that'd have been, no. I'm 27. I'm done with that. Biden just forget. He's trying to forget that 20,000 I already got. So I'm not trying to do more than that. So fast forward, I applied at West Georgia Technical College because I live in Georgia. And West Georgia Technical College is like a school with many campuses. So they have some in Coweta, Murphy, I think not Douglas, LaGrange, multiple campuses. So I was able to get in a campus that was at least 45 minutes away from me, because it used to be one closer to me, but they closed it down. And it was only 41 girls allowed in the program, because it was a morning class and then there was an evening class. And I started off in the evening class and we had about 20 to 21 girls in there. The reason I chose West Georgia Technical College because it was the cheapest. I actually started off at West Georgia Technical College before I went to my 4-year university school, just because it was cheaper. It was right there. I'll say more affordable, and more affordable. So, I understand some people go to school specifically like Paul Mitchell, or a school that's specifically for aesthetics. But I will say this, at the end of the day, everybody has to take the same test for state. So I will say no school really makes you better, because you could go to Paul Mitchell and I could go to West Georgia Tech and we both pass the state board, and it's the same thing. And your experience is what you make it. So I really somewhat enjoyed the class, if I'm very honest. I'm not going to say any names or anything like that, but the ladies that I met in my class were phenomenal, just to be hands-on and work with different skin types. I know, for me, which they'll say in the book, ethnic skin, which is black people, brown people, dark people. There's not a lot that we can have done to our skin. And I learned that while being in school, and I learned that the books that they give you don't really teach you how to deal with ethnic skin either, because school, they're really just teaching you the basics. So a lot of the extra stuff that I learned, like laser, IPL, certain chemical peels, certain products, all that kind of stuff, I was like, okay, well, this is getting me nowhere, because how do I treat people my color? Like, it's easier to deal with more pale skin, Fitzpatrick scale 1 and 2, but when you get to 3, 4, and 5, that's when you start running into issues. So that was a big thing that I did not like dealing with school, was just I had to educate myself a little further, which I feel like you always have to do, but you weren't really learning the basics of ethnic skin in school, just because it was like there was really not much you could do. Like, we can, Fitzpatrick 4 or 5 can really hyperpigmentation very easily. Like, you could have, I just lost my train of thought, dang. What is it called? Damn. Not post hyperpigmentation. Not pre-hyper. Okay, when I think of it, I'm gonna tell you. But basically what I'm trying to say is where you could get a pimple, you don't pop it, pick it, it goes down, and you still will be left with a dark mark. I don't understand why I lost my train of thought of what the word is, but that is what I explained. Also dealing with school, being hands-on, my school didn't have a lot of skincare lines to deal with. So I don't know how every school works, but like with West Georgia Tech, they have a contract with Dermalogica. So in school, we were just dealing with the whole Dermalogica line, which I was never a fan of Dermalogica. I'm still not a fan of Dermalogica. So you have to expose yourself to different brands, especially like if you want to get out in the field, especially like when you're choosing where you want to go, say med spas, anything like that. They're definitely going to have different lines and more professional lines, such as PCA, Skin Script, Murad, things that you really don't see in school just because that school may have a contract with that line. But fortunately, in my class, I had a wonderful woman named Ms. Jen who worked in a med spa. So she introduced me into different professional grades where I was able to learn about the line and everything like that. So that was a downer. But well, let's just get through all the downers. Another downer was trying to get clients to come. We were in Murphy, which is like past Carrollton, if anyone knows where it is, the damn boonies. Trying to get people to come between the hours of like, I think class started at 1:15, and we would stop taking clients at 5. Who finna come? Because you got to think about it. If you try to get family members to come or your mom and dad, people have to work. People have lives. So that was another hard thing was, okay, you're working on your friends. And, you know, your friends would only tell you so much. But you need, like, outsiders like, okay, well, I don't have no one to work on. So that was a downside to it, too, based on the location. And I didn't get a lot of lectures in class, and I wish I would have had that more. And when I say like lectures, I mean like where we really sit down and discuss things. It was more glance over, just, oh, okay, do your book work, go on about your business. I would have rather more deep lectures, deep discussions, because there's not always one right way, especially with skin and different skins and how people do different things. I could say that, oh, this person needs this, and this. And well, this person could say, well, yeah, they need that, but add. So I wish we could have went deeper just to, you know, learn more, hear different experiences, understand things differently, especially when it comes down to taking that goddamn state board, because that state board, something serious. But all around, I enjoyed it. I still have very good friends from it. Yeah, it was a decent experience. I will say that. I didn't like the fact that when it came to our state board bag, which it's this big black bag that has everything in it, your mannequin, all certain things. Our school was lacking on it. Like, certain products and stuff wasn't in the bag that was supposed to be in the bag. So like my mannequin was like a month and a half late. So how am I supposed to be getting the hours and doing the techniques and learning stuff when I don't have a mannequin to work on? So it's just like little knickknacks there. I don't want to down the school because I appreciate the school because, hey, that's where I got my certification from. But just keeping it very open and honest. So with that being said, like I said, school is school. You know, you got to make the best of it. You got to do it. Like, you just have to be there for yourself, show up for yourself, everything like that. So these were the books that we used. So Meal Day. So this was the standard. So this book really is about like infection control somewhat, disinfecting, how to treat clients, communication. This is what this book was for. And then this book, the standard, which is like a big book. This is where, well, this is the workbook. Thick. This is the book where basically you're learning everything about the skin, waxing, makeup, everything. This is like the Bible when you're in school. Like, this book is like the Bible. So you could refer to a lot of things what you do in class in that book. Like, that was the book where you have things of like, one whole chapter is about the glands and the skin layers, the epidermis, the stratocorneum, and all that stuff. So very important books. And then you also have this book, which is the salon management. Now, I know at West Georgia Tech, we took salon management, where basically this is just like if you wanted your own salon. It talks about like bills, setting up the salon, licenses, suites, all that stuff. I mean, I made a quick A in the class. To me, it was really some BS. But it was just something to take. I guess that's what they feel like needs to be in the curriculum. So with that being said, you know, you do what you need to do. You take tests. All our tests were online. I'm trying to like wind it down on that part. All our tests were online. Then you have your practical exam, which basically is like performing a basic facial, which you do at State Board. You perform a basic facial, waxing, tweezing, blood-borne pathogen, and microdermabrasion. So that's what the practical was about. Basically, you're just running through that like you would at State Board. And your teacher preps you for that and everything. Like, we did that every Monday. Yeah, very tedious, whatever, but I understand why they did it. So all in all is what you make it. You know, I think I paid roughly about like $6,500 for school, which is not bad, because I know some girls who went to Paul Mitchell or other schools like up in Atlanta, and they was talking about $10,000, $11,000, and I was like, yeah, no, I already got like $45,000 in school debt. I ain't got time to be adding on. So, and my program was a year, so I started August and I finished in July, and then I started State Board testing in August, and then I finished in September. I got a little confused. I will say the school did prepare me, the program did prepare me for the practical State Board exam, but I will say I was not prepared for the theory part, which is the written part of the State Board exam from school. It was a lot of questions on there that I did not know the answer to. The first test, when I first took the test, I made a 68. Now, I was proud of my 68 because I didn't know half of that was on there. To make it 60, I was like, okay, shit. My educated guesses was guessing right. I would say that's the only thing I feel like the program failed me on. Looking at those questions, the state was more worried about like the scientific methods than anything. Where in school, we worried more about the client services. Because like on the paper, I wish I could show you the paper, but I can't. It has my social and everything on it. But on the paper, you have this paper where it's your picture in the right-hand corner, and on the left, it has your name, your address, and then it says pass or fail. And if you fail, it shows you your percentage of what you made in the area of client services and scientific methods. I made like a 72 in client services, and I made a 68 in scientific methods. Well, like a 65 or whatever. So I'm like, okay, we really didn't discuss scientific methods. And when I say scientific methods, I'm talking about learning about the glands, seborrheic dermatitis, anhydrous dermatitis, pulse, ulcers, scars, really nasty things, and really a lot of things that you would not be able to treat. It would be of a thing that you know what it is, but you'll be like, oh, I have to recommend you to a physician or a dermatologist, which I think is horrible. Why are you asking me stuff that does not pertain to me, in the sense that there's nothing I can do about it? But I guess their main thing is not to operate on someone or to assist someone or service someone who has those type of things. So yeah, that state board theory part was a pain in my butt. I didn't know what to study. I was just kind of studying what I was taught, and it wasn't what the state board wanted. It was like I got the state board and I was staring at the computer like this the whole time. Like, now I ended up getting notes from another Miss Jen, and I studied her notes. I made flashcards, highlighted, all kind of stuff. I wish I had to show you, but I let a friend borrow them. But I'll make like a part 2 or something and show you. And ended up going back and passing with the 74. You only need a 70 to pass. Well, I know in the state of Georgia, you only need a 70 to pass. So that 74 did me wonders. I was like, yes, ma'am. But with that being said, I will actually drop a link with all those notes in it for anyone and any other, like I was watching YouTube videos on like esthetician questions that could possibly be on the state board. I'm going to add that to it too, just so you can review it, get used to it, get used to learning the scientific method and like infection control. They want to know, you know, the difference between disinfection, sterilization. Like they want to make sure you know, or like autoclave, like all of that. They want to know, you know. And that was a lot on there. So I will be adding that. Well, it will be attached. I will make a link for y'all to go and see that. And then the practical, it was pretty easy. I just really, you go in, and I would say the table was about like a little bigger than this. And they have a line of tape. One person's on this side, one person on this side. It really wasn't difficult. The instructions that they read to you is basically what you need to do. Like the instructions tell you what you're supposed to do. So it'll be like, you will be given a basic facial of cleaning, exfoliating, massage, mask, moisturize. And that's how they will read the instructions, and that's actually the steps you're supposed to take. So like I said, since we practice that every Monday, I was not worried about that part. And I passed that part. Went in there, passed it, flying colors, wasn't even worried about it. Like that was the least of my worry. The most stressful was the theory. Because like I said, I was not prepared for that. I don't feel my school prepared me for that. So you'll be fine with that. And then after you do both of those, that's when you can apply for your license. So this is what the application looks like. This is the instructions. Luckily, my professor gave this to us when we finished our practical, because you got to pass the class to go and take, you know, your state board exam. So, you know, front and back. Then you got to get this part notarized, making sure you're a U.S. citizen, which I don't understand that, because if I was I don't know. I don't know. I think they would have this information, but and it costs $40, $30 application fee, $10 processing fee, so $40 whole. You can do it online or you can mail in. I'm mailing mine in just because every time I try it online, when I try to upload documents, it says error, so I don't have time for that. And usually they say it should take to 7-10 business days for you to get your license, and then you should be good to go. And with that being said, that's how my experience with being an esthetician. Now, I currently work at Curve by K Beauty and Wellness, and I actually intern with her. So to say, when I was in the program and I knew like, okay, I need to gain some more experience, I decided to reach out to a local spa, and I was like, hey, I would love to intern. I'm not asking for any money, fellowship, however you want to look at it. This is what I'm trying to do. So I actually interned with her from January up until I finished the class, which gave me so much exposure. And the place I was at, the lady, the young woman who owns it is a registered nurse. So I was able to learn microneedling, hydrofacials. At this moment, I'm actually going to get my phlebotomy certificate because like we do vitamin B12 injections, we do IV hydrations. So interning for her opened me up to a lot more that I can do. Because I mean, you don't have to just stick to skin. You could do eyebrows, that you could do all this other stuff. I can't think of everything you could do because it's so big. Like we learn makeup. I don't like makeup. So, but it's so much you can do in this field. So I would say, figure out what your focus is. Like my focus is ethnic skin with hyperpigmentation. Not saying I wouldn't work with anyone who does not have ethnic skin, but that is my focus. I know young ladies who were legit in my class who were already doing lashes and microblading. They just need their license because they are cracking down on not having your license, because if you notice, there's a lot of stuff going down without a license. And I definitely understand why you need a license. So, if you want to get into this field, I say get into it. I feel like there's great money to be made all around the board. I won't say you're going to start off making, top notch, but yeah, if this is a field you want to get into, I say get into it. You will enjoy it. Excuse me being on the back of my lost storage and need her been uploaded on my MacBook. But if you have any questions, I will drop my email below. You can hit me up anytime, and like I said, I will be putting in a link for the study guides that I use for the state board exam. I will also link some of the videos that I watched and everything like that, and some of the podcasts that I listened to. Epsy Talk, Miss Jen put me on that podcast. So I know this is a very long-winded video, but I was trying to get as much out as I can without trying to be all over the place, because I know I can be. But like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know, and y'all will definitely be seeing more of me. I cannot wait to show y'all the journey that I'm on. So I will be dropping another video very, very soon. So make sure you like, subscribe, and just stay up to me. Well, stay up with me, like stay following me. I can never get this right. Bye.